because we are now in the land of super duper editing, because we are, here's the thing that happens with Brendan. He gets, not with the Doomstar Requiem, because that's already mapped out completely.
It's totally mapped out.
But generally speaking, once the drum takes are done and we're done doing guitar and main guitar, rhythm guitar overdubs and bass overdubs, you take that back home.
Yes.
And you loop it 300 times and you decide a section is not worth dealing with, or you want to extend one or whatever.
Right. There's something musically that's unfinished.
Yeah, something or another you need to like work on the actual arrangement of it. You go in with a saw and you chop out a whole section of it sometimes. Yeah. And that is really annoying when you have a drum track that is not gridded, because your edits will get all messed up because you're not like we're not in a perfect gritty kind of world. So for you, I grid this thing so you have an easier time editing, and frankly I do it for myself because I'll have an easier time dealing with what's coming back.
Right.
The brutality that happens here is I'm actually going to show you that I'm just simply ignoring the live kick tracks after I'm done placing samples where we know the kicks should have been played precisely. It's a tedious process, but it is actually, we're actually going in and I grab a kick sample. It's my personal favorite one, whichever one it could be. And here we are. I have this track here, Black Tide, I think. Why that sample's called that, I don't even know. So we have the DM5, which gives us all the kick hits because both kicks were triggered into the same box and spit out as one.
Right, so it's not two different.
Yeah, it's not two things, but you see the main kick and the left kick. That gives us an idea of which foot played what. Mm-hmm. You can see that we already started EQing a little bit so we can, hear better what's going on. But here we are with our kick sample, and we see, and I usually do it, where are we? Grid. I set my grid up here to 16th notes, sometimes eighths, sometimes quarters. It just depends on the style of music, and it's fast on this one. But here we go. We see that this kick, well, it's off ever so much in a humanly way that it should actually have been played here. This kick should actually have been played here. And come on, it's not letting me do it. I'll do it this way. And this kick should have been played. That's actually really spot on almost there. It was played there. This one was played here. So you can see that this is really fun for Brendan to watch.
This is when I leave. I make a phone call. I walk my dog.
Out.
Yeah.
He handles business. He walks the dog.
Get into some.
As you can see.
But hey, one thing I think a lot of people that if you're a guitarist and you're watching this, I think it's amazing how that kick is you have a favorite kick, but hearing it by itself is sometimes an interesting thing because it just sounds like a spoon hitting a phone book. Yeah, there you go.
There it is.
So that's the kick.
That's the kick.
So that's the kick of choice.
It's a nice kick. It'll do the job because we can really hear the attack. It's relatively pleasant to listen to.
Yeah.
And so I'm not going to bore you guys by doing a whole track here, but you can see where this is going. It's going to this.
Where you manually...
I manually placed all those kicks in there, and I still have the old tracks there just in case I had made a mistake and Gene's going to yell at me for doing it wrong, which has happened.
Yes.
So now, all of a sudden, we sound a lot more solid.
Yeah.
The kicks, every kick hit is, perfect, if you will. If gridded is perfection, then
You're right.
This is perfect.
It's definitely gridded. Whatever it is, it's definitely gridded.
It's gridded
at this point.
But now, because the whole drum kit has basically been like demolished and destroyed by having the kicks gridded and a live feel for the drummer, we have to grit the rest of it. And the beauty of that is that we go in and we slice each individual drum hit by hand. And the way we do that is, well, first off, what we do, we, as you may have noticed or not, the kick tracks have been decoupled from the group. And we have now a group that has only drums and no kicks. See? Drum, no kick group. Because we're not dealing with kicks anymore. It's just the rest of the drum kit now. You have a tab to transient command, which people like to use, and so do I. So you place your cursor and you press tab, and it tabs over to the next thing that it thinks is a transient. And then you separate region, which is Command E, and you go to the next one, Command E, next one.
Sometimes that transient is another drum being you can hear.
Yeah, it could be a snare hit, could be a hi-hat hit, could be anywhere where it thinks something happened on the drum kit that's worth noting. Sometimes you get wrong with like
drum, right?
You get ghosty ones in there.
Yeah.
And like this one, it's not crucial at this juncture to have it be absolutely perfect, because we're going to go in and really tweak the heck out of this. There is a mode, and I'm sure they moved that around for me. No, here it is. That lets you use simple one key strokes as opposed to doing Command E all the time. You can just hit B and it'll do the same thing, and that makes things a lot easier. But anyway, so we go in and I made myself a note over here, which one was which. So this whole drum take, I went through and I sliced it.
How long does that take you?
Depends on how many hits and how long the song, but 45 minutes to an hour or so.
Okay.
It's not so bad. The real work starts now after I'm done.
Yeah.
So basically, let's go
Usually
in.
it just looks black like that.
Yeah, when you zoom in, when you zoom
Yeah.
out. Oh, come on, give me something good here. Here you go. In order to really demonstrate, it goes relatively fast, because you go tab, B, tab, tab, B, tab, B, tab. You know what I mean? You just go through it, and it's mind-numbing, and you make mistakes, and this undo button comes in, and that's all right. You get the idea.
Yeah.
Anyways, but what we do, the important thing is that goes from the front to back on this song, and then I work my way backwards. Let's just do these last ones over here. And sometimes on this, like you probably, a lot of folks at home are going like, just use Beat Detector for this. And it's like, well, I would if it would work, but this, the Beat Detective just looks at me funny and goes like, what am I supposed to do with this? There's too many hits. There's like, you've got double kicks with like triplet toms over it, and it's like, what do you want me to do about this? You know, so you got to do it by hand. And just listen to that for me. Then we zoom in and we start grabbing this thing. So we know that this snare hit, the whole drum kit, including the room and the snare and the hi-hats and all these mics, they don't want to be separated from one another now. Because the way we recorded the drums, or the kicks actually, I knew that I was going to do this, so I isolated them as much as possible, level-wise or bleed and crosstalk-wise from the rest of the kit by putting a little blanket over them and just really using them basically just as triggers, knowing fully well that the actual kick sound is most likely not going to be used.
Right.
And to not have to have his little kick sound in the room mics and bleeding into the cymbals, into the snare and everything else.
So you isolate them.
Yeah.
And this is what you like?
You
Just
put a blanket over
put a
them, like
blanket over
build
the
a little
drums.
contraption and stuff like that.
Whatever you can do. Okay.
Yeah, and so, but the rest of the drum kit, that's all bleeding into each other. You have to treat it as one. And so we moved the whole thing with our trusty little hand over here to where we would think that snare should have been, because we now grid the snare.
Now you're gridding everything.
Yeah, and so now this is where your key, where your wonderful key commands come back in. I think this is the one. My left and right arrow lets you navigate to the. Now that I have this one placed, I'm ready to move on to the next one, and this one should be sitting here with this kick. Now I can put that back into the grid world, and I do that. I keep doing this. And so next one, we have to move backwards in time a little bit. This one too, a little backwards in time. We just work our way forward, back into the front of the song. The reason I do it this way is, if you were to do it from front to back, if you move this over here, you've kind of shot yourself in the foot by going over this, you know. So it's like, if you go the other way, if you go this way, your transient is still visible over here. So that's why I go backwards. It's just a friendly little PSA. So then you do that, and your whole thing kind of looks like, was it 12? Yeah, this one. Then it looks like this. The whole damn thing is just all over the place, you know, and it sounds terrible because there's gaps and overlaps, and you know, you could actually really hear in some places that it just sounds terrible.
Yeah.
Because, you know, like fills.
No crossfades, nothing.
Yeah, nothing. It's just.
Yeah.
But this is, you see that up here, I save it because I'm at a place where if I mess up at the next go around, I got to back up and I don't have to start over and re-slice everything and move everything again.
Just to describe this section, just total misery.
Yeah. I'm sorry. This is
boring misery.
This is why it's good to have a comedian in the lounge. He goes like,
Yeah.
"Are you done yet? What are you guys doing in there?"
Yeah. Oh, if I had to do this, I would literally kill myself.
And this is why you don't want to do it, because
Yeah.
this is not creative.
That is terrible, boring, busy work.
It's absolutely
It's the worst
atrocious.
thing you could do to yourself.
It is, but I am a masochist. Ask my wife.
He's a masochist, folks. Yeah.
Wow. After that,
So now what do? You got
we need to unroll these things.
Right.
And
Stretch
so
them
you have
out
to go in and
Yeah.
make sure that this is back again from the front to the back of the song, because
do the
that works
whole thing
better that
again.
way. And so, you know, we make sure that, all right, all our hits are good.
isolated and on the
It's
beat.
fascinating. I'm
Yeah.
sure you guys are like, just use Beat Detective, dude. Just get this over with.
So you'll do that to the whole thing.
Do
and
that
then,
the whole thing.
And then you'll go through
And then it looks like this. And that's beautiful. And then we crossfade. And the way we do that is
select everything.
select all of it, Command F, and we give ourselves, I usually do the pre-splice, meaning like it gives me the crossfade right before the edit as opposed to on the edit or after the edit.
Gotcha.
I do equal power, standard curves, and for drums, I'm usually sitting somewhere in the 4 to 6 milliseconds, not 46, but you know, you get the idea.
Yeah. But at least you don't go in and crossfade every individual thing.
I know, how crazy is that?
Yeah. Why are you letting
so-
yourself off the hook in that way is my
I
question.
don't know.
Anyway, do you think that's a little lazy?
I thought so for a while, but then I almost got a life.
Yeah. Okay.
But then now we're pretty much happy with this drum take, except for the possibility of Gene coming in. It's like, you know what? I want to change the drum fill over in the.
Right.
Sounds like.
Can we hear it without any of the extra instruments, just the isolated drums,
Sure.
just to get a sense of like what the room sounds like and and what that whole edit sounds like too.
Where are my kicks?
And maybe just play like a couple bars just to see how far we get, so people get an idea. So that's what double kicks without any music sounds like. It sounds like an old typewriter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We can solo some of these drum sounds that are really just very basic at this point, because they are, they're un-EQ'd. All right, come on. Really? Seriously. All right, do it that way. These are the overhead tracks. Still get enough kick drums in there, but later on we will EQ out all that low end, because there's no room for it with all the heavy bass and the low end and the guitars and the kick drums going on.